Welcome to my channel, where today I'm going to talk about a story that is deeply rooted to me. On my channel, I usually talk about hair and reviews and just different topics, but today we're going to talk about my loss at 19 weeks and 5 days. I was pregnant. I lost my daughter. I want to talk about this because I know there's a lot of women out there that may have experienced this situation, and unfortunately we find out that losing a child is common. There's a community of women that don't speak on it a lot because it's so hurtful and sometimes embarrassing, and we don't have anyone to really express ourselves to. So I want you guys to feel free to comment at the bottom, like this video, and let's just build one another up and tell each other experiences at the bottom in the comments, and also, help one another by sharing our stories. So I want to start by saying I did lose 2 children before. I lost one at 1 month in 2019, and when I lost the baby at 1 month, it affected me, but I know I probably would have had more effect on other women, but it affected me. But it was like, okay, because I did not know I was pregnant. I lost the baby it was as in if my period came on, but it wasn't my period. It was actually the baby flushing out of my system. So I lost one baby back in August 2019. My coworkers at work, they were like, "Girl, you're pregnant. Look at your stomach. You're pregnant." I'm like, "No, I'm not pregnant," but I was, and the way I found out that I was pregnant was because my menstrual came on, but it was very heavy, and I was just going through pads. I was going through maybe 2 pads an hour, and I was like, something's wrong here. I need to go to the hospital. So, excuse me. When I went to the hospital, that's when they was like, "You're having a miscarriage," and I was like, okay, well, I didn't even know I was pregnant. So that experience was okay, I was pregnant. I didn't know it. I lost the baby. I felt like I wasn't ready for a baby at that time. It caught me and my child's father off guard. So it was okay, I was hurt, but like I said, I was still able to cope and move on faster. So later that November of 2019, the same year, I got pregnant again. And I got pregnant in November, and that baby was due in August. So I got pregnant with a little girl. I always wanted a little girl, but unfortunately she did not make it. With her, oh child, you gotta excuse me. With her, I was very nauseated. I was vomiting so much that pregnancy. I was going through a lot of stress, but I was still excited to meet my baby. I really wanted to meet my baby girl because I always wanted a mini me. And the pregnancy was going good or whatnot. So in March 19, 2020, I think it was March 18th, I woke up that morning, and I went to the bathroom, and I just had a little tiny dot of blood. I won't even say that it was if you take a pen that you write with, a normal pen, and you just take it and you just make a dot on a sheet of paper, just one little dot, small, like a spectrum of a dot. And I went to the hospital because I knew I was pregnant. And you know, when you're pregnant, you don't supposed to have any blood coming out of you. So I was like, oh my God. So I'm like, okay, it's just a spectrum of blood. It can't be that bad. So I went to the emergency room, and I'm like, they're like, how far along are you? I'm like, I'm 19 weeks and 5 days. So they was like, well, you know, if you're a certain gestational age, they won't put you like in labor and delivery. They'll keep you like downstairs in the emergency room with the normal people like that's not pregnant, but they still took me up to labor and delivery. So girl, when they took me up there, I'm like waiting. I gotta relive this experience, so y'all bear with me. I was like waiting to see what was wrong. So I'm like, okay. It ain't gonna be that bad. I hope it's not that bad. Cause with my son, who's now 3 years old, I passed a blood clot with him at 23 weeks. But he was okay. He was fine. So that's when they came in, and then the man, they did their test, they outside ultrasound, their vaginal ultrasound, and then that's when the man was like, you're completely dilated. You're completely open. We can tie you up from your feet to the roof and your head down. There's nothing we can do to stop this baby from coming. And I was just like so hurt. And I was by myself because COVID just had started. So no one was allowed in the hospital. And my son was with his father, so his dad couldn't be there. And what was really rolling like through me, like what was really, really going through me was the fact of I couldn't save that baby. And it was like, okay, you know, I'm living, I'm breathing, but the baby is dying. And I just wish that I could save that baby's life so that it could live. And they moved me from the waiting room area because, like, I wasn't sitting down. And, you know, when you're pregnant, they have your waiting room where it's like 4 or 6 beds, you know, where you're waiting to go to a room. So they pulled me in a room, and they told me, they said, you can go ahead and get this over with. Basically said you could do this the easy way or the hard way. And I said, I just want to go ahead and get it over with. And they pushed 2 pills up me, and the baby that night, you know, I was sad. I actually, my fiance finally came after his mom got the baby, my son, my 3-year-old son, and he came, and the pills started to take its course with, you know, basically flushing out the pregnancy. And my baby was in my stomach. Now, see, I was 19 weeks and 5 days. So it was crazy because, like, for the baby to be that small, I felt that baby rolling and kicking and stumping. It's like the baby knew for itself that, you know, it was leaving mama. You know, the baby knew that it was a distressful situation. It knew that my womb became like, what's the word? Like, in distress. Like, my baby knew that she was leaving, and she knew that me and her was like leaving. So Like that day, like I went to sleep, then I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning. And when I woke up, my baby was flipping and turning, and I woke up crying. Because it was so sad. It was just so sad. And when I woke up that next morning, after I woke up 1 a.m., then I woke up at like 9, I didn't feel my baby no more. Like, I didn't know where she was. Like, I normally know that she's on my left side when I was pregnant with her. So I didn't know where she was. And that's when I knew, like, okay, it's about to be, like, over. So make a long story short, you know, when I pushed her out, no one was in the room with me. Like, my fiance had to go to work, and the nurses, like, they're not really concerned about someone who's losing a baby. It's not the same energy, like, from when you're having a baby that's alive. And I pushed her out. I was by myself. She was basically just hanging out my vagina until they finally came. And, like, I saw her. I spent 3 hours with her. I don't have her memorial with me. It's at her grandma's house. But, I hold my baby. I kiss my baby. And I just really want to share this because, like, right now I'm 8 months pregnant. But, just losing a life, it just hurted so bad. It still hurts. And I know there's moms out there that just like still trying to have a baby or still mourning over a loss. And I just want you to know that it's okay that you're still hurt. It's okay that, you know, you can't look at pregnant stomachs and you can't look at strollers and you don't want to be by the baby section. There's a lot of us. There's a lot of us. But see, everyone isn't able to share their experiences, and you don't know the community that's out there until people like me and you start to reach out and touch one another. But I'm telling you, that experience, you know, it was one of my life-changing experiences that I had that made me, you know, want to love a lot more and want to be a better woman to my life and myself, because I really wanted that little girl, and I lost her. And I know after a loss, and if you don't get pregnant again and you don't have a baby again, it hurts. It really, really, really hurts. And I want you ladies to know that has experienced loss, or maybe going through that now, there's no words that I can tell you, you know, to help you feel better, because I've been there and I'm still going through it because she's not here. So only thing I can tell you to do is, you know, keep your head high and take care of yourself, because, you know, it may seem like people don't care as much as you care, you know, for the loss, and sometimes you don't have enough support around you. You know, the people that do have enough support, you're blessed. I mean, your parents, your husband, your baby's father, your sisters, your brothers, whoever's there supporting you, you are blessed. Because people like me, I had nobody. My fiance, he was sad, but, you know, I don't know. He didn't take it as hard as me. And this is for people who don't have any support. I'm telling you, you know, like I said, there's no words that I can tell you. Only thing I can do is give you my experience and let you know, like, I'm hurt too. Like, I'm still hurt. And this is a situation where I will always be hurt. But right now, I'm 8 months pregnant with a little boy. And I didn't want to share this pregnancy until I got like where I'm at now, because you don't want to share good news and then you lose the baby. So right now I'm 8 months pregnant, as you guys can see. And it's not easy. It's not easy being pregnant again, because I'm still worried. Because one doctor told me nothing is 100%, and then when you do get pregnant again, they always telling you, well, when you losing a baby, you're high risk. So, once you have a miscarriage or two, they consider you high risk. A lot of doctors turned me down. They didn't want to see this baby. By the grace of God, let me tell you how good God is. I had a list of numbers. I called every last number on my paper. All of those doctors told me, no, we don't, with your history with pregnancies, we can't see you. So I was worried, but I had to always put God first, because sometimes we can let our anxiety and our stress overcome what God got out there. And once you put God first, He gonna direct what you need, where you need to be with whatever you're going through. So I told God, I said, God, I can't bear losing another baby. I can't bear that. But I'm going to do whatever I can in my might to get my baby here. So I had a sheet of paper with numbers for the Medicaid, because I'm on Medicaid. And all them people was like, we can't see high risk. We don't do people with that many losses, and you had too many losses. I even went to, before I said that, and so that last number on my paper, they accepted me. So the last number on that paper that I wrote out, they accepted me. They gave me a appointment and everything. So, child, my friend at work, she gave me a number. So she said he was a great doctor. So, word of mouth, a reference. You want to go check him out. So I had an appointment with him too. So I went over there to see what the doctor was about. And lo and behold, child, when I went in there, he said, I can't see you. He hit me with pretty much what other people said over the phone. I can't see you. You're high risk. You need to go to the hospital to get this many tests. You need to go. And matter of fact, you need to go to the hospital right now because your blood pressure is high. But he got my blood pressure high because what he had told me, it was devastating. I'm like, okay. Because I was like maybe 6 weeks and I'm looking for a doctor, because, the sooner the better you get in there, they'll help you. Go in the road until I'm done. So, that's my 3-year-old. So, he scared me.